Hey, sweetie, your mother showed me this Carvana thing for selling the car. I'm gonna give it a try. Wish me luck. Me again. I put in the license plate. It gave me an offer. Unbelievable. Okay, I accepted the offer. They're picking it up Tuesday from the driveway. I haven't even left my chair. It's done. The car is gone. I'm holding a check. Anyway, Carvana, give it a whirl. Love ya.
So good, you'll want to leave a voicemail about it. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
DJ PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. We're joined once again by Jay Stevens, NHL insider for KSL Sports and host of the Utah Puck Report. Jay, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. Always love the Beastie Boys intro. That's a perfect pick.
Looking at this, now that it's all over and Carolina has won the Stanley Cup, is it easy to say that in this year, the fact that Colorado had so many injuries really explains what happened in the playoffs? Vegas with their draw to the conference final isn't crazy. Colorado with their draw to the conference final isn't crazy. Carolina was the best team in the East. And if Colorado had been healthy, maybe it would have been Colorado and Carolina. But since Colorado wasn't healthy, Carolina is the champ, and in dominating fashion, the way they won at the end there in those last three games.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's more than fair to say. Everybody had Colorado. I had Colorado and Carolina in the final. So I think, yeah, once Colorado wasn't healthy, because if you watched these two teams during the season, they just absolutely dominated. Obviously, Colorado wins the President's Trophy and then gets banged up a little bit. And Carolina just stuck to their system. They had such a good team. They were never able to get past the conference finals. And they stuck to the system. They added some important parts like Jackson Blake. And I think that just gave them that extra push. And then to do it with two goalies hasn't been done since the 84 Edmonton Oilers. So, yeah, I think that's fair to say. It would have been amazing to see what Colorado could have done to challenge Carolina's dominant, forecheck. I think they were built pretty much the same. They're both a real fast team with a super aggressive forecheck going up against a team that just is a brute force team with good zone entry. So, yeah, I think it would have been really interesting to see, but that's why the playoffs are set up this way. It's always an adventure.
As we do with the Jazz, we look at stuff to how it relates to them, as we watch the NBA and as we're getting accustomed with what the Utah Mammoth are about. We're looking at the NHL with an eye towards the Mammoth to see what they can learn from that. Anything, not just in this particular series, but in the entire postseason that you saw that caught your eye in terms of what the Mammoth could use or need?
Yeah, what really stands out is having a little bit more of an aggressive second line. The second line was the difference last night. You look for Utah's got to be looking at somebody else that can come in and be more sandpaper. They need one or two more big bodies to wear down the other team's offense, and then that balances out the speed. If you see what Carolina did, they had a super fast first line, a really fast but physical second line, just really chippy, agitating guys. I mentioned Jackson Blake already. He just and Stakehoven, they had that. They just had that grit to them, and where they finished every check. And if you took the puck from them, they just turned around and went right back at it. We call that water bugs or whatever. They just seem to be everywhere and just flying across the ice like that. And they definitely have that. And that's something more that the Mammoth need to add to their depth. And we really need to see what Vanacek could have done as a backup. I don't think they re-sign him. I think he was qualified, but we didn't see him play enough games to really get comfortable. And I think that's the same with the team. But Utah knows they need a solid number two or a number 1B. And there are a couple options coming available in the free agency. Nothing great, but maybe a guy that could play a year or possibly see what the youth movement has in it. But those are the biggest gaps between what they have now and what they need to get in the future, to make it further in the playoffs. They need more grit, they need solid goaltending, and they need two rested goaltenders when they enter the playoffs.
That sandpaper and grit you talk about on the second line, is that player that you're imagining in the system on the way up, or is that something that the Mammoth need to go out and acquire and use some of those prospects to have the value to get back whoever it is they need?
That's the question I've been getting the most. And I think the best answer from everything I've seen is basically every part the Utah Mammoth need is already in the pipeline. When I talk about goaltending, they've had that Villalta, they've had Stauber. Both of those guys deserve a chance. They're both free agents this year, but both of those guys deserve a chance to get some NHL games. They've proven themselves in the A. And then you got Michael Hrabal coming up, who could really be the future goaltender for the Utah Mammoth. He's 6'7". He had a phenomenal NCAA career, so he's already there. And as far as the sandpaper, man, they've got a couple. That Cole Beaudoin that they picked up right after they drafted Iginla that first year as the Utah Hockey Club, that guy's grit, and he's big, he's strong, he plays just like his father who played in the NHL, where he's just got the perfect NHL body already. And then I've talked about him before, but Gabe Smith, a 4th-round draft pick, part of the Utah Hockey Club. He's an absolute steal in the 4th round. If the draft were to be this year, he'd be a top 5 pick easy. He's just gotten better and better. He's got a mean streak to him. He's already in the preseason games for the Utah Mammoth. I think he's already fought 3 times, and I think he only played like 3 games. So he's a guy that you're going to see. I really expect him to be challenging for, if not taking a roster spot this year. And same with Beaudoin. Both those guys could make the team this upcoming season.
This is fascinating for me to see what the management with Bill Armstrong is thinking, because, you can expedite it, but you don't want to expedite it at the risk of losing a potential big-time game changers. So they got to figure out, what's available and what is the cost of that availability, and then decide, okay, this is the right thing to do, or back off and say, nah, we're just going to wait. We're going to hold our cards because we believe that if we sit tight in a year or two, we would have something that could be more special that would last several years. So I find that whole concept fascinating to see what they can do. If I put you in charge, what would you do?
I have learned so much from watching Bill Armstrong this year. I've been an NHL fan for as long as I can remember, and to see a guy do exactly what he says he's going to do consistently and not change anything, I think I would stick with the current plan. I think there's got to be a little bit of regret for giving up on Doan.
Yeah, for sure.
And this is nothing about Peterka. Peterka is going to be a phenomenal player for Utah. But I think Doan would have been more that second-line guy, just an amazing second-line center that plays super physical. He is a game changer, and he proved that already this season. And, this was his first full season in the NHL. And to see an asset like that go away and then see the work that you got to put into Peterka to get him into your system, which is kind of this, I guess it's the same thing they were doing with Doan. They brought him up. They thought he wasn't ready to finish those plays, so they sent him back down to the A. But, man, I just think the way they're doing it seems so smart, so well thought out. And if you look at everything in the pipeline, I love the line you just used of holding your cards, because, man, they've got a bunch of aces up their sleeves, and I hope they hold on to those. And it's been fun to watch because, like I said, some of these free agents come up, and you'll see other teams kind of forget what they have in their hand and put it down and say, hey, give me that guy. And I was worried that Utah would do that for Larkin. But every time you see any player wants a trade, immediately the online blows up that it's going to be Utah. And I just don't see Utah being a real big player in either free agency or making a trade. I think they know what they've got. This is exactly where they wanted to be when they said they wanted to be here. They want to get good eventually and then stay good for a really long time.
Right.
And everything that you look at says they're ready for that.
Kevin O'Connor, former Utah Jazz general manager, said once when someone said something about overpaying for a free agent, he said, you always overpay for free agents. The question is, how much do you overpay for free agents. Is the same true in the NHL? Because even though you can make your team better, you also jam your team up against the salary cap and prevent you from making the next move. If you're 3 moves away, you don't want to spend all your cap room on one move and then think, well, now how do we make the next 2? So there is a certain reward with staying with the young guys, but plus it keeps you out of that cap trouble. So if you're not sure what to do, maybe that tips the scales right there, staying out of the cap trouble. How much have you seen teams jam themselves up with one free agent move or one trade and they overpay and they don't have enough left to make the next couple of moves?
Yeah, you see that a lot. Just the most recent that comes to mind is the Nashville Predators. They went out and got all the high dollar free agents with Marcia Show and Stamkos, and they're like, that was 2 years ago, and they thought this is going to be the Stanley Cup for us. We're going all in, and gave those guys big contracts for longer term than their teams were willing to do, and they didn't even make the playoffs the first year with all that talent. And you see it a lot. You see this guy was so amazing, but sometimes, especially in hockey, the thing that makes you amazing is the line you're on and the guys you're playing with and that chemistry. So you've seen a lot of teams do that, and that's one thing the Mammoth and Bill Armstrong has consistently said is we're not going to try to win the Stanley Cup, in July. We're not going to go on free agency and spend and win it that way. They're going to pick up valuable assets that are cheap, which, there's a couple of goalies that are coming up that'll be cheap. And then, like you said, it's perfect to bring this. Now's the time to start the youth movement because those guys are $900,000 a year for the next 3 years. And you're right. So that keeps that salary cap open and gives you a lot of time for not a lot of money to give them the experience. The only question is, are you willing to let the youth movement come in right now? And are you willing to take a little bit of a step back in the standings to give these guys the experience they need right now and make them better for the next season? Do you sacrifice the upcoming season for the 27-28 season?
Yeah, I see what you're saying, Jay. I'm wondering if I can make the point, though, if they do that. So for sake of argument, they go ahead and do that. But yet, a lot of the core, particularly a couple players that are already here, are still young themselves, and we expect internal improvement from them. So if they go with these guys, bring them up, but then the nucleus of the team, at least 2-3 guys, still are young enough that they can improve, that they can offset that, and so they don't necessarily have to take a step back while they're progressing the development of the young guys, because the guys who aren't here, but the guys on the team, the young guys, they're developing and they're going to be better. So we can handle that and still be a competitive playoff team in a year from now. Is the mindset that? Because I can see that can be a plausible possibility.
Yeah, 100%. They've taken a long time to build this nucleus, right? This talented group of super young kids. I mean, you look at Keller, the veteran leader on the team, at 27, 28 years old. Yeah, so they've got exactly what they need to keep moving forward. The problem is, and it's not a problem, because these kids coming in have had successful major junior seasons or even played a year in the A. So you would expect them to be able to come in and be ready. But that's going to, one way or another, that's going to cost you a few games in the beginning of the year while these guys get caught up to the speed, because there's no better teacher than the game. Like, the guys have to be in the game to get the experience, to be good down the road and be able to battle that out. So, yeah, you're right. Maybe it doesn't affect them. Maybe they put these young guys in and they don't skip a beat. But that's the gamble. That's the thing that Bill has to figure out is, will we skip a beat? Is it worth it to skip a beat? And that doesn't mean they don't make the playoffs, even if you're teaching these young guys. It just means that maybe you lose a few games that you would have won the season before. And that's just an experience thing. But also, maybe these young guys coming in need that. Maybe they don't know that, some of those overtime losses that the Mammoth experienced, maybe these are overtime specialists or, really good third period shutdown guys. And they've got the time. I mean, we're talking all top 10 picks coming in. Yeah. So they definitely have the potential to just be a phenomenal team with a lot of youth movement.
Jay Stevens, NHL insider for KSL Sports and host of the Utah Puck Report, joining us. I break the core of this team into 2 groups. I mean, they definitely have young guys on the way up in Cooley and Gunther, and their timeline matches these younger guys. But, man, Sergachev and Keller and a handful of other guys, they're in their primes. Like, now's the time. So when you say, hey, you're willing to take a step back this year, no. Sergachev, Keller, this is it. Let's go. So I'm wondering if there's a middle ground here. Bring the young guys up. And this all started with you saying, hey, they need someone with some grit on that second line. And you also made a good point. Some guys look good because of who they're on the ice with. So my question is, as these guys come up, do you see, and maybe it's not the same for all the guys coming up, there may be a distinction there, somebody who should be put on the second line, and they need to be with those guys, and there will be growing pains, and it is Keller's prime, and it is Sergachev's prime, and oh, well, we're going to do it. But can you bring them up and put them on the fourth line? Now they're not on the ice with the same guys, so maybe they don't learn the same way, but maybe that's a way to finesse it a little bit, and maybe it depends on the player. What do you think?
Yeah, 100% depends on the player. A guy like Cole Beaudoin, you could put on the fourth line. A guy like Gabe Smith is going to be a fourth line guy. Your third line could use some grit too, but you don't put a guy like T.J. Ginla or Caleb Denoye anywhere but lines 1 and 2, because those are your scoring lines, those are your finesse lines, and those guys, that's the guy's jobs. You've seen in the past, or a guy gets pulled up and they get put on a fourth line, and you're T.J. Ginla. The fourth line guys aren't going to keep up with you, for one, and then two, like there's.
No, we lost him. Internet connection goes. You don't trust a cell phone, then you put him on his laptop, and then the computer goes. Okay, fine. I know. Walked us right to the cliff there, and then fell apart.
Well, what are you going to do?
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Go on. That's all you can do.
We are going to go on. Just sit here in silence.
Well, it's fascinating to see what they do, but the good thing is they're dealing, I think, from a position of strength. It's not a panic situation, so I take comfort in that. It's like the Jazz. No matter who they draft, it is an opportunity to get the team better.
Jay Stevens is back with us now. He has rejoined. Jay, you walked us right to the cliff. Finish that thought.
Am I here? Okay, so what I was talking about is just being able to put talented players in the right positions, because you can't put a guy like a Ginla on the fourth line. The fourth line doesn't think and react like a Ginla. You know, your third and fourth lines are supposed to draw penalties, create turnovers, frustrate the other team, pin it down in their corner and tire them out and make them chase you around for a bit. And that would be, you know, guys in the past have been pulled up and put on those lines. In the 80s and 90s, it was like, all right, we pulled a guy up out of the minors. He can't be in the top two lines, and see how that works. And it never really worked. You know, you need like-minded people with like-minded people on a line to make it work. So, yeah, I do think you see Ginla make that top six. And I think you see Cole Beaudoin and, you know, maybe Gabe Smith on the third and fourth line. That makes sense. That's a good place for them to fit. And that helps the youth movement. And you're right. Keller's in his prime. Sergey's in his prime. It'll be interesting to see what other guys they bring back. I could see him maybe offering another year to Ian Cole to balance that out and just keep, because he was such a blue collar guy who did all the hard work in front of the net and ate a ton of pucks in front of the net, and really, I think, was such an on ice and off ice leader for the youth movement that I could see them extending them, or even just making him a coach. But then that's, you got to ask yourself, the guys that we love that were here last year, who do we give a roster spot to if it takes a spot from Ginla or Beaudoin or Denoye? So you're going to see some a lot of line mixing in the beginning of the season. And it'll be interesting to see what happens and see if they really do. There's just not really great free agents on the market that you want to go out and pick up. I mean, technically Kane's a free agent and Tuck, who have been great players in the past, but I just don't think there's enough to go chase to change that line, or, you know, to give up a spot for one of these guys that is a top 10 pick.
Jay, we appreciate the time as always. Thanks for joining us, and look forward to talking to you again throughout the offseason as they do or don't make moves. We'll see what happens.
Draft coming up on the 26th, free agency July 1.
Jay Stevens, NHL insider for KSL Sports and host of the Utah Puck Report. Okay, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we will go over everything we've talked about in this show, including have the Wizards botched it away and given away their leverage. We will get to that next. DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
3, 2, 1. This is Scotty G and Coach Tim LeCoux.
Come on, this is a guy that fully admitted that he had gambled. He had over $90,000 worth of bets, many including games that he was playing in, teams that he was on, teams that he had insight into game plans, and the injunction is granted. You will see Brandon Sorsby unless an appeal is made, and they're banking on the fact that this injunction will remain in effect until something can happen, and that won't be until after the season is over. So Brandon Sorsby may be playing college football, folks.
The problem in a nutshell is this. We've done this to ourselves.
Oh, yeah. This is self-inflicted.
We have absolutely done this to ourselves. It is in a thirst for right now we got to win because everybody's in an arms race and everybody's trying to compete so hard and we've lost our frickin' way.
Catch Scotty G and Coach weekdays from 10 to 2, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
For VML and Abbott Freestyle Libre 3 Plus sensor, this is Gibran Overwhelmed 30, a 30-second stereo radio mix, ISKEY LAFL 007200, today's date June 8th, 2026.
Overwhelmed? That was me with diabetes. Hey, I'm Gibran. Between teaching and coaching, managing diabetes felt like an extra job. With the Freestyle Libre 3 CGM, I get real-time glucose readings and have the insights to make informed decisions. My life feels lighter now. Learn more at freestylelibre.us.
The views expressed should not be used for medical diagnosis or treatment as a substitute for professional medical advice. Individual circumstances may vary. For prescription only. Safety info found at freestylelibre.us.
Thumbtack presents Uncertainty Strikes. I was surrounded. The aisle and the options were closing in. There were paint rollers, satin and matte finish, angle brushes, and natural bristles. There were too many choices. What if I never got my living room painted? What if I couldn't figure out what type of paint to use? What if I just used Thumbtack? I can hire a top-rated pro that knows everything about interior paint, easily compare prices, and read reviews. Thumbtack knows homes. Download the app today.
I sold my car in Carvana last night.
Well, that's cool.
No, you don't understand. It went perfectly. Real offer, down to the penny. They're picking it up tomorrow. Nothing went wrong.
So, what's the problem?
That is the problem. Nothing in my life goes as smoothly. I'm waiting for the catch.
Maybe there's no catch.
That's exactly what a catch would want me to think.
Wow, you need to relax.
I need to knock on wood. Do we have wood? Is this table wood?
I think it's laminate.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's close enough.
Car selling without a catch. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
Slacker Red Headlines brought to you by Trajan Wealth. Call Trajan Wealth today, your local trusted financial fiduciary. Call them at 1-855-TRAJAN1 or visit their website at TrajanWealth.com. All right, we've talked NBA Finals this morning. Jalen Brunson, 2 NCAA titles and an NBA title. 45 points in Game 5, the clincher.
Hats off, man.
Likeable guy, likeable team, likeable coach. They are the 8th different champion in 8 years. I thought the impressive thing about that game is I thought it was played in a really different style, and if you're going to win a championship, you need to be able to play in different styles. And I thought in that game, it was pretty clear early on, both teams were playing like the season was on the line because it was. There was a lot of grabbing and bumping and hand checking. I thought I was watching 90s basketball. It had a 90s score.
We were watching playoff basketball.
But even by current playoff standards, that was a physical game.
But this is current playoff.
And it was 94-90.
I understand what the score was.
Well, right, but we had games all this playoff where they were in the hundreds.
Sure. And it wasn't the final.
It wasn't the last game.
The opportunity.
Right.
To win it all.
And so you have to play at a different style. There was more contact and play through it. And the guy who did that the best was the smallest guy.
There's no sport that is as different postseason to regular season, even earlier postseason, than the NBA. I get your point, and I agree with you, but I was not surprised.
I can understand that. I mean, you watch basketball, you're not surprised. It's like we're getting to the end here. It's really, you can turn on the TV and you're going to think it is really going to be a grind tonight.
That's why we're watching.
But it was.
Who doesn't love that?
It was an ugly grind.
But that's the beauty of it. That's what I want to see. It's like I said, if they did that in October, they'd all be dead by Thanksgiving.
They would be. Yeah, you're right. They would be.
Yeah.
I agree.
And they can't. The system, the product, the amount of physical exertion, the amount of games, the amount of travel doesn't allow that. That's why quit trying to fix the regular season because there's nothing you can do about it. You can move the bag back until it's over the fence.
But there's 82 of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And all the travel and the toll it takes on your body.
Minimize that. Minimize the back-to-backs.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, you can't win the title in the regular season. You literally can't. And so teams and players are always going to, and New York did, and they beat San Antonio. So maybe it's 3 years in, and it was a great predictor of the finals this time.
That's why whoever wins, it was in December, I'm going to Vegas that night. I'm calling Sorsby, and
you're getting on your phones. Don't go to Vegas, old man.
I want to go to Vegas.
Pull out your phone. Oh, well, that's different.
Then they can't trace it.
That's different. Oh, they have their ways.
I know they do. They got cameras everywhere.
They do.
So I get that's the way it's going to be. That's why I slog through the regular season, because I know the end most of the time is going to be awesome. And this was awesome. I loved watching Brunson do his thing. Smaller guy, undervalued, blah, 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 every step of the way, according to his own acknowledgement. And I agree. I believe him.
Oh, he knows what was said.
Yeah. And there he is. I'll show you. I'll show you. I'll show you. And he did it.
Even in college. I mean, the guy won 2 NCAA titles in 3 years. But if you go back and look, like his minutes and his scoring as a freshman, he is a role guy. Even when Villanova's winning.
Yeah, freshman, but
he was a freshman and he still played a lot. Yeah. I mean, he started a lot of games. He played 24 minutes, but he didn't average in double figures. But by his junior year, he's playing 31 minutes and he's the leading scorer.
That's what I want to see. Stick with it. Keep battling. Keep grinding. Right now, the 2 top jerseys that I would buy in the NBA right now today.
Jalen Brunson
in the Knicks.
And A.J. DeBonce in the Jazz. I got it. Yes. All right, let's get to this, because in the middle of the show, you were texting with people, and it changed our discussion, and I was slow to catch up to what you were saying. So we were talking about 2 different scenarios. There's one scenario where the Jazz don't know what the Wizards is going to do. And there's one where the Wizards have screwed up and tipped their hand, and the Jazz might have a pretty good idea what the Wizards are going to do. So in scenario 1, which is one I was focused on, which is what the Wizards play their cards right, they don't ever let anybody know what they're going to do. And they eventually lowered the demand on Ace Bailey because the Jazz aren't giving up Bailey and the number 2 pick. That's just too much. But you can get the number 2 pick and a lesser player if the Jazz are going to go get AJ. But if the Wizards, who have a history of screwing up, have screwed up and have tipped their hand, maybe Peterson is only doing 1 interview because he knows where he's going to go. And DeBonce is only going to do 2. He knows where he's going to go. And the Jazz have figured out, because the Wizards have messed up and let it leak somehow, somewhere, and it's gotten back to the Jazz, and they know they aren't going to make any trade. Not even a lesser trade. Forget the Bailey trade. They were never going to make that trade. But they aren't even going to make a lesser trade because now they think they know what the Wizards are going to do. And right now, not reporting it as a fact, but if I made you guess, and if you took we'll label it a semi-educated guess, acknowledging you don't have 2 sources, you don't have this nailed down, and you won't bet your life on it.
Well, and there's no point in doing that because it could change.
People get to change their mind.
We still have 8 days.
Yeah, people get to change their mind.
Yeah.
But just sitting here right now, you would guess that the Wizards have screwed up, tipped their hand, and they're going to take Peterson, and the Jazz know it.
I don't think it's a screw-up, though. I mean, when Wembanyama was coming out, was it a screw-up that the Spurs were going to take him?
No, because it wasn't a close call.
And in their mind...
And I don't think Cooper Flagg was a close call.
Good one. Excellent. More recent. Well, the other one's only a couple years old.
Right. But those 2 were slam dunk number 1s.
And
there was no point in finessing it.
I've always believed, and I've had others confirm, multiple others confirm what I've always believed, and it's not a stretch that I've always believed it, and you brought it up, the preseason draft, is that Darren Peterson is the most skilled player. And if he's the most skilled player, then take him.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't argue with that. And watching him when he was healthy and he was locked on, you could see what everybody's talking about. You really see it if all you watched was BYU Kansas. You could see it because
Which
that was
I
one of the
did.
games
We
he was.
did.
Yeah, we did, but we watched other games too.
No, I
but he
got
was
you.
he was healthy. He was locked in, and my gosh, he's smooth. And just like that, one dribble, one step, he gets so much separation in space, and he doesn't seem to need much. And he gets so much, and then he's taking the shot. You're like, well, that's going in.
Yeah, he's very
It's
smooth.
going in.
Smooth is,
and
is
it's
the word.
over and over and over. And DeBonta, for all the things he does right, and there's a long list, there is this doubt about him as a three-point shooter.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Now, it's a doubt that can be answered. It can be fixed.
I don't know if it could be improved.
It can be improved is a better word. Yeah. It can be improved, and he is devastating in other stuff. And I'm not – see, Locke has a little you have it, but I have it too. You know, sometimes when people tell you something, you just want to go the other way because you get sick of listening to them. But one thing Locke's always said, and I'm surprised he doesn't embrace it more right now. I know. And I'm surprised he doesn't embrace it more right now, is he's always said the college game's really different than a pro game. The spacing is very different. And he's right. Mm-hmm. And that plays into Bonsa's favor because at a level of the sport where there isn't much spacing, he found enough to get to the hoop. Everybody knew he was a 33% shooter, and they all defended him like it. And he still found a way to get into the paint. In the NBA, when the floor is more spread, I don't see. He's just got to be respectable enough so his guy doesn't do what we saw people do with Ricky Rubio with Ronnie Brewer or with Derek Favors. I'm not coming out there. You come in here. I'm waiting for you back here.
No, I want you to be out there.
Yeah, you stand out there. I don't fear you out there. I'll be waiting for you here if you come in here.
I'll get the long rebound.
And if you don't, it's 4-on-5, and I'm going to help jam up everybody else.
Mm-hmm. And we're going the other way.
Right.
I hear you.
That's the flaw, and that's why he'll go 2. But his level of athleticism is why Boozer's probably going to go 3. But honestly, at 3, Boozer is a huge win. I'm with you,
sure.
20-10 guy. He's going to win playoff games and playoff series. I don't get mad about the quote-unquote easy/lazy comparison to Carlos. I think he is Carlos plus whatever percent, I know, plus 20% or whatever you want to say.
Because the game has
Carlos
changed and
Boozer,
he grew up in a development that's different.
Exactly. And I think he had the advantage of having Carlos in his ear the whole time. Like, Carlos Boozer had a lot of things he did really well. And he got in his kid's ear and make sure, hey, if you do this well, it pays off. And so a lot of the things that Carlos had, Cam has. Cam's taller. And Cam goes out on the floor more. Mm-hmm. And Cam plays in an era when it's more okay for a forward to initiate the offense and run pick and rolls and beat guys off the dribble from the three-point line, which in Carlos's era, Carlos really only took his game out to 15, maybe 17 feet. He was really good there. He was never really asked to go beyond that. Could he have? We'll never know. It wasn't the way the game was played and it wasn't the style. So Cam Boozer's a big old win at number 3. And if you don't think Peterson's going to play more than 45 games a year, or if you don't think if you don't think DeBonsa's going to shoot more than 30 or 32% from 3, then go get Boozer. But if you think that Peterson's going to be a gamer in the NBA, and if you think DeBonsa's at least going to be decent to respectable from 3, you got to draft those guys 1, 2.
I think Washington needs to take Peterson.
Isn't it crazy that everybody wants to go to Washington? Everybody being Ace Bailey and now
I don't
Peterson.
know that he necessarily wants to.
He wants to be the 1 pick,
yeah.
and he just go whoever had the 1 pick. He wants to go there. Yeah.
Right.
It's more money and it's ego and it's accomplishment. It's what you've been striving for a year or 2 or 3.
He has the potential to be a really, really fine player. So I would have loved to have seen him here, and maybe he'll be here.
Yeah.
Maybe he is going to be here. Maybe they take AJ, and we won't literally know until next Tuesday. And I'm fascinated by it. But the Jazz aren't getting a consolation prize. That needs to be established. They're getting a player who has a chance to be really, really good. And that's what you're looking for.
I think everybody drafting in the top 8. And sure, it's easier when you're in the top 2, 3, 4. But everybody drafting in the top 8 thinks they're getting a really good player. There's a reason we had a third of the league dumping games. I mean, we've stopped talking about them because they aren't going to be the Jazz pick. But we were talking earlier about on multiple occasions, Akef. Like, is he a player? The kid, Weigar out of Illinois. Is he a player, right? Now, it's not. These guys aren't all going to cash in.
He's a player. I just don't know to what level.
But there are going to be somebody in the top 10.
But he's the rawest of the raw, I think.
There's going to be somebody but there's going to be somebody in the top 10, and we're going to be saying, why did he go 10th? Why didn't he go 4th?
Why did he go 4th?
Redraft
Why
it.
didn't he go 10th?
That too, right. And it'll get redrafted. So all these other teams, but the expectations are higher the higher you are in the draft. You got more options. Don't mess it up.
I just feel like in the way that LeBron was always going to be with the Cavs, AJ's going to be here.
Yeah. That was what Tim Lacombe said right outside that door. What do you think? I don't know how he's going to end up here.
I've always felt that.
Yeah. It's crazy that the kid from Massachusetts, with both the Angels being back in Massachusetts, ends up going to high school in Utah for senior year and to BYU for a year, and the Jazz are tanking, and they end up with a number 2 pick.
Yeah, but didn't it seem like that was...
Well, it was the goal, it was
realistic.
the dream, it was the hope, it was realistic, but it wasn't a lock. And it's still not a lock.
Nothing is a total lock.
I know.
I mean...
But it did seem like the universe was pointing in a certain direction, and we're almost there.
You think about it, from the Northeast,
Mm-hmm.
and he ends up here.
Mm-hmm. Like you?
Not like me.
Oh.
I didn't go to BYU.
Uh-huh. I heard you went to ASU. Is that true?
I went to NAU, ASU, and Grand Canyon.
Okay.
That's my higher education resume. But being from the Northeast, let's go way back.
Way back.
Brigham Young was from Vermont.
You did.
So this is the
Vermont and upstate New York. There you go.
Vermont to Utah, Massachusetts to Utah.
It's all up there.
Yeah, exactly.
It's out here.
Right. Right. Same thing.
He's going to play down here at the Delta Center, not up at the mouth of the canyon, but it's close enough.
Yeah, it's like, back there, they think New Mexico and Arizona and
Utah. The map of the Hudson is hilarious.
Way out there. Out west.
My buddy's wife is from Connecticut, and she was floored at how far away Las Vegas was when she first moved out here.
Yeah. So
he's talking about like driving to Vegas, and we think it's nothing. Like
we
6
think
hours.
It's nothing. 6 hours.
And she was like,
deal.
"You want to drive how far?"
Yeah, I know. Yeah, people don't do it. They don't do it. It's extraordinary.
You go through 5 states back there and 3 or 4 multiple metropolitan areas.
My little brother got married in D.C., and we were back there for a week, lots of family, and an aunt and uncle, and the uncle is way into the Civil War stuff. And on like Monday, they went out to Bull Run, or Tuesday or something. And on like Thursday, they're like, oh, there's nothing going on. It's a pretty light schedule today. You want to go to Gettysburg? We drove up to Gettysburg and back, and we were back for dinner. Mm-hmm. And the people who live back east were blown away. You went to Gettysburg
And
today?
you had a burger on the way.
When am I going to be this close? And you're like, you're not that close. I'm like, sure we are.
Brigham Young, and I had to look this up because I didn't know, and I'm looking it up right now. He's from Vermont. So we've had this Northeast connection for how many years now? Yeah, like 150. And
No, we're past 150.
Yeah, we're almost at 200.
Almost at 200 now. Yeah, this thing, it's been around so long. And
196.
Before he became a full-time church leader, he was a carpenter.
Mm-hmm. See? They can't hear that on the radio, but it's really good on TV.
They can see it on YouTube, though.
Yeah, I know. It's good on YouTube. You got the palms up. What more can I say? It speaks for itself. I will utter no words.
It do.
All right, DJ and PK, you want to go for now or after the break? Right now. Do it now. We'll do it now. Do it live. Do it live. U.S. Open Golf giveaway, a qualifier right now. Caller 12-801-575-ZONE. We'll be assigned a golfer in the U.S. Open this week. Top 25 in the world, and one gets the field. If your golfer wins, you'll receive $300 in clubhouse credit at Copper Rock Golf Course and a $100 gas card. It's brought to you by Copper Rock, where the pros play. Now, Yak, who have you given away so far? I know you can't say contest rules. You can't say we're giving away at this moment, but earlier this morning.
Yeah. First one was Aaron Rye, who's ranked 14th in the world. And we also gave away Sepp Straka, who's 19th in the world.
Okay.
So there you go.
Some big names out there. Good luck. Call right now. 801-575-ZONE. Stay with us.
That sound could mean a lot of things.
And when something's going wrong at home, the hardest part can be figuring out what the problem actually is. At Thumbtack, you can upload a voice message or a photo, and our AI-powered search will help diagnose your project. Plus, the pros we know have over 14 million 5-star reviews, so you can hire with confidence. Thumbtack, we know homes. Hire the right pro today.
What is that?
Oh, yeah, it's a World Cup holder.
Like the soccer tournament World Cup?
Holder. For the world. Fits every car, holds every cup.
It has a Carvana logo?
Yeah, Carvana made it. They buy and sell cars, so they made a car cup holder. So, got any good cups lately?
I used to. I just couldn't figure out where in the world to put them.
The World Cup holder. Brought to you by Carvana. Proud sponsors of the World Cup holder.
Sign up today to win yours at cup-holder2026.com. Not authorized or endorsed by FIFA. Not a real product. For parity and fair use purposes only.
DJ and PK, it's 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. Give them the breaking news, PK.
Bulls signing Thiago Splitter. Obviously, he was with Portland when Chauncey Billups had to go away, and so the Bulls making that decision, and that's good news for BYU because Kevin Young was having his name attached to that, and I think that's going to be Kevin Young's name attached is going to be a little Rick Majerus-ish until it runs its course, and it's like, okay, he's not going to come, and Kevin having a baby here in the fall, that increases his chances to stay here because I think Young is an authentic man and he tells you that this is more conducive to what I'm about. And so he's highly compensated and he can win at the highest level. He plays in a great conference. So you can never say never, but it looks like at least for the time being, which would extend probably 5 years, I would think, that he's interested in being BYU's coach, which is good news for BYU because I think he's building an excellent program.
DJ PK, it's time for your feedback. Brian, answering the question of the morning. Knickerbockers get their first NBA title in 53 years. What do you got? Well, the local guy has the ring. How about that? Brian says, our buddy Dylan Jones from Weber State just won back-to-back NBA titles. He becomes the first player ever played college basketball in the state of Utah to win back-to-back NBA titles. Yeah. Okay. He gets to be in the locker room and jump around, but when you check the playing time, he's been on some two-way contracts. And so you do get to be up and you're there, but, you're not in the rotation. You're not starting. You're not finishing.
I would go more Jordan Clarkson, who at least got some PT. Didn't get a lot, but Jordan is... If he leaves the league today, he had a phenomenal career.
Aaron, love JC. Happy for him. Sam, I'm happy JC got a championship. Happy for Jordan Clarkson. He used to go to a lot of Jazz games, Dale Stewart says.
That's funny. That will always be funny.
And it got thumbs up and laughing emojis.
How many? You going to go to the Delta Center this year? How many? How many Jazz games? How many? Yeah, a lot.
A lot.
41 to be precise.
Oh, man.
Only he could get away with that.
It was perfect. He just deadpanned it. It was just so spot on. And there was no... Like when Wimby gets up and says, what did he say? Exactly. Give me the quote. Yeah.
I'll see you guys later.
Never.
It was never.
Yeah, never. It's like, there's like some, I don't know, malice is maybe too strong, some... angst.
He looked way shorter than 7'4". But in retrospect, shouldn't have Jordan had alerted her?
Yeah, he could have.
And saved her embarrassment?
He could have.
But that's why only he could get away with it, because anybody else who did it, it would have been seen as mean.
Yeah.
But he's so off the wall,
it
seemed normal.
He
answered the questions. How do you spell your name? He spelled it. You going to go to the games? How many? A lot. He answered. He literally answered all the questions that were asked of him. That was beautiful.
John says, I guess to win championships now, you have to have a good flopping team. Hope my Jazz have been working on their flopping so we can win our first next year.
The Knicks were flopping?
But we don't do that, so no winning it next year.
The Knicks flopped?
Yeah. Everybody flops.
But
I thought
when you say flop, I think of egregious. I think of really outrageous, not you just fall down.
I don't really look at it as...
Wemby freaking stepped on Brunson and could have injured him and been out all next season.
Yes. Oh, there were a lot of legit fouls. I already told you. I thought that last game was
got up and played through it.
Yeah, I thought the last game was brutal. But nonetheless, there are guys throwing themselves in. I mean, outrageous is Dylan Brooks on one leg hopping when he played for Oregon. That's egregious and outrageous. I accepted a long time ago that guys, when they feel contact, will embellish it, which is flopping.
And that's up to the referees to call it.
And it is up to the referees to call, but free throws are an efficient way to score, and the best players do shoot a lot of free throws.
Catcher before the box thing used to bring the pitch in and frame it. What's the difference?
I get it, but it bugs people.
Call the play the right way.
But it bugs people that they're out there trying to deceive the officials and flop.
They're trying to win.
I know they are. I get it. John Stockton did it.
And I get what you get, because I'm just as irritated.
Yeah.
But change it then. A technical foul. You're banned the league. This is worse than Brendan Sorsby. We'll ban you for the whole season. 1 month if we catch you flopping and it's not. Stop it. Until they institute rules that prevent it, it's on the league, not on the player.
I think reviewable like flagrants and it adds up and you get run. Yeah, I'd be up for it. All right, DJ and PK, that'll do it for us. Scotty G and the coach Tim Lacombe next, right here on The Zone.
Summer is all about freedom, fun, and growing up. And between the ages of 9 and 13, kids are starting to form their views about alcohol. With more independence, their still developing brains need more guidance and support than ever. That's why summer is the perfect time to stay connected and plan fun, safe family activities together. Research shows kids who spend quality time with their parents doing what they enjoy are less likely to drink underage. And when kids feel close to you, they're more likely to listen, especially when you set clear expectations. In fact, kids who drink before 15 are far more likely to struggle with alcohol later. This summer, create a no-bummer summer with fun, alcohol-free activities for your kids. Go to summer.parentsempowered.org to take a quick quiz and discover ideas tailored to your family. A little time together can make a big difference. For more information and to learn more about how to prevent underage drinking, visit parentsempowered.org.
Mom, can you tell me a story?
Sure. Once upon a time, a mom needed a new car.
Was she brave?
She was tired, mostly. But she went to Carvana.com and found a great car at a great price. No secret treasure map required.
Did you have to fight a dragon?
Nope. She bought it 100% online. From her bed, actually.
Was it scary?
Honey, it was as unscary as car buying could be.
Did the car have a sunroof?
It did, actually.
Okay, good story.
Car buying you'll want to tell stories about. Buy your car today on
Carvana.
Delivery fees may apply.